Hello, patrons, subscribers, fans, followers, and supporters, and generally anyone who happens to stumble across my videos. Welcome to another edition of How to Art with Johnston Blackhorse, with your host, me, Johnston Blackhorse, the one and only. And sorry this video is a day late. I usually release these videos on Monday, but I've just been kind of just busy, just busy being busy or busy being lazy. Like I swear I've like been sleeping a lot lately. But as you can see, I've been just trying to crank out these new auction sets. And these are the sketches that I've been working on, like lately. There's a couple of Cream the Rabbit pieces, Zoe the Fox, Callie Briggs, and I forgot her name, Sally Acorn. And I was just trying to finish those up, and also like kind of like dreading the whole process of just making a video, because I have to shoot it, and then after it's like finished, like I upload it. And as you can see, like from my previous videos, I don't bother editing them because I am just either that lazy or just too busy to just edit them myself. But I figured what would really be easy to like save on time, like I shoot them and then have to spend like, I don't know, like sometimes up to an hour uploading. Why don't I just start doing live streams of my how to art? And what's the other video? I'm doing it right after this one. Sketchbook tours. Yeah, so I'm just going to start doing that. Let's see. So I guess with this how to art video, someone asked how I draw butts. So this is the how to art booty butt edition. I can't remember if there were any other suggestions for how to art, because I haven't been writing them down. I've just kind of like been keeping them in my Deviant Arts notes and the YouTube. Let's see, YouTube comments. So I'll look on those for how to art suggestions. And this one is the was a suggestion by Kame-sama. No, wait, not Kame-sama. What's his name? Concept Sama. sorry, Concept Sama. I forgot your name. It's totally slipped my mind. I've had a very slippery mind lately. I'm just so all over the place, man. Well, anyway, drawing butts. What is a butt? In simple terms, a butt is just like two half circles placed on the posterior of your character, and that's just putting it very rudimentary. Elementary. It's elementary, my dear Watson. But I guess to really get into it, I'll just go farther into that, because like this individual or Concept Sama asked me to like how do I draw butts in different angles, and just thinking about the whole process, like what's my whole process in drawing a butt. Like sometimes I just don't put much thought into how I do things. I just do them, and then when I'm asked like how do I go about it, that's when I get stuck. Oh, hey, Sarah Adelaide. I hope that's how you say your name. But okay, let's get started. Close enough. All right, cool. Oh wow, I didn't notice that about the sketchbook. Huh. I just reached a point in this sketchbook where the last few pages are perforated on the edge here, so I can tear them out when I'm done with them. Huh. I guess I wish I knew that beforehand. Anyway, for those who are interested, this is a moleskin sketchbook. But yeah, let's get down to it. Okay, drawing a butt. Well, I guess to begin with, I'll just draw it like straight on. So right here, I have this general like box shape to represent the pelvis or the pelvic area. And I have like pretty much the back here attached to that. And then here, just kind of bring down a couple lines for the legs. Now, when I go about drawing a butt, just talking so much about butts. Anyway, just kind of keeping in mind the anatomy, the anatomical structure of, and the underlying, I guess, bone. Let me pull out an anatomy book just so I can better convey what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. The pelvis. Where is it? Ah. Do we just have one with the pelvis alone? There we go. Like, oh, this is a artistic anatomy book by Dr. Paul Riker, and I highly recommend this book. And it has like all the bones and muscle structures like already illustrated, so you can get a very good idea of like all the like focal points and details that you do need to pay attention to when drawing or studying anatomy. So here we have the pelvis, as you can see, like just kind of bringing it over here. And since I'm drawing it from the back, this is the back pelvis. I don't know if I'm drawing this big enough. It's like usually when I do these videos, I can zoom in, but doing a live stream, I don't think I have those options. But I guess I'll erase this and just draw it bigger. I'm starting to wonder if this is a good idea. Well, like mostly because of the whole aspect of not being able to zoom in. Oh, shoot, I better put this water somewhere else. Right there seems fine. Right next to my expensive computer equipment. That's a good place for it. Okay. So to begin with, like I draw this square, and in that, like I visualize the basic form and structure of the, like just illustrating the pelvic bone. And from that, you have the hip bones. What are they called? I'm just so terrible at like knowing anatomy or anything, but yeah, we'll just call it for that for now. And then the underlying or the overlying muscle structure, if I can find that real quick. As you can see, like these illustrations are very detailed in the muscle structure and just all the important parts that you ought to study as an artist, like trying to bone up on your, I didn't even mean that as a pun, but bone up on your skeletal structure and muscle studies. But yeah, here we have the area in which I'm attempting to draw. And this is the overlying muscular structure on top of the pelvic bone. And I know you can't like really see it in this illustration, but like just kind of visualizing it in somewhat of a, I don't know, a fleshed out aspect. But you got the I don't want to draw on this book, but this structure here that starts like from the top of this where the hip joints are, and it comes in and it swoops down just right on the I guess the butt cheek right there. So here, like this is the hip joint, and so I keep that in mind when I'm just doing this rough shading detail here and drawing the butt. And here it's like in this V-shaped region, usually you'll get like the butt dimples in there. Maybe I should spend some time in like learning anatomical names, but again, I'm just pretty lazy just when it comes to that. I'm just too. I feel like I'm too busy just trying to earn money. But yeah, so just keeping those details in mind, like I'm not going to go in and just draw every like line or like a muscle sinew or whatever, because as an artist, like studying all these, I think I've done that quite enough already. But you know what, like maybe in the future, like or sometimes even now, like I'll look at these muscle structures and just kind of redraw it just to brush up on that secondhand knowledge or memory or second nature. Secondhand. Well, in a sense, this is secondhand because like an artist and artists and scientists had to go into the body and just learn what they could learn and then illustrate what they learn and represent it for us to study from. So I wasn't completely wrong when I misspoke there. So here I'm just following the pelvic crest or ridge, whatever that's called, of the pelvic bone, and it swoops down here to this dimple. And oh shoot, I just saw the video feed. I'm not even paying attention to what I'm recording. So let me move this water again over to my other expensive equipment. So here, just following the pelvic crest of the pelvic bone, and that comes around down and connects to this butt cheek dimple right there, and that kind of gets into the crevasse of the ass. These jokes are terrible. I'm sorry. Just doing that on both sides here. Get the love handles in there. Yeah. Nice fleshy love handles. So for the most part, it just like I do recommend just grabbing up some of these books. Like this is one of the books that I reference and study a lot. The second book that I usually go to is this Atlas of Human Anatomy for the Artist, and I also like keeping this Drawing the Head and Figure by Jack Ham, and these are all very, very good books. So like with that whole basic structure, just like letting you know like my whole process of like keeping in mind the pelvic bone, and then the overlying muscle structure, and just noting where all the muscle points like connect and are interwoven in order to create the wonderful fleshy mounds or the booty butt cheeks or that just so fun to draw. But just letting you know, like it's only been like I think maybe less than a decade, just years ago, where I wasn't even that good at drawing like the booty butts. I just feel so weird just saying that out loud and just doing it in an instructional video. Oh, hold on, let me just put on some music. I forgot to put some music on, loosen myself up. But yeah, so I wasn't that good, and just having to like study all these like anatomy books. And I also recommend like buying just a bunch of these like muscle mags and swimsuit magazines, and it's good to like just like have these around just to refer to. And the illustrations are good to like get you used to like what the anatomy structure is and everything. But it's also nice to have like some reference on hand to just see what like all these muscle forms look like in like a realistic space. And oftentimes, like when I'm having issues or like just trying to remember how to draw like muscles or body shapes and forms, just referring to a lot of these muscle magazines and swimsuit magazines. And it's something I also recommend. So it's just like a bunch of study and practice on that, because like a lot of the butts I used to draw were just so flat and drab, and it was just looking back on some of those, as you can probably see in several of my sketchbook tours, like the butts I used to draw were just so just flat. So with that, let me go ahead and start sketching, like maybe like a sexy female figure with some focus on the booty butt, booty butt, booty butt cheeks, booty butt, booty butt, booty butt cheeks, booty butt, booty butt, booty booty butt cheeks, booty butt, booty butt, booty booty butt cheeks. And here, as you can see, like as I sketch out a form, I like to draw out what is essentially like the rib cage, just trying to get that mapped out in my mind in this space, and like following the spinal cord or the spinal column, whatever you want to call it, just kind of following that down, leading toward the pelvic region. And here I'm drawing somewhat of it's somewhat circular, but in somewhat in essence, like I'm trying to like still visualize like a box shape, as I illustrated in this sketch here, where I drew out a box just to encapsulate the pelvis and the overlying muscle structure. So here it's going to be like kind of a box shape, but more, well, a cube shape, really, now that I'm not drawing it on a flat on perspective. So keeping this in mind, and just trying to feel out how this figure is going to be posed. So here on the rib cage, as you can see, I'm putting a shoulder right here to give the sense that this female character is kind of turning her attention toward the viewer, and kind of this way. So she's somewhat twisting her body around. So kind of giving a bit of focus or attention toward her posterior, her hindquarters, her booty butt, badonkadonk, whatever you'd like to refer to it as. Sorry, just thinking about me doing like a Bob Ross version, just like talking about this is your world. Your booty can be as large as you want it, making happy mistakes and all that. So in drawing this cube shape, I'm kind of keeping in mind the underlying pelvic structure and so I have like the pelvic crest on this side and then the pelvic crest coming up on this end and just kind of like wrapping around toward the front of her pelvic region. And in here is like those butt dimples or whatever, which lead down to the crevasse. What an appropriate song to come on just as I'm drawing this. Drawing her arm up this way. Maybe she's giving her behind a nice firm squeeze. That's attractive, right? Throwing some indication of breasts up front. I hope this video turns out all right, because this is just like me just kind of playing around with this, hoping I can save some time. I suck at managing time. It's just slipping through my fingers. Oh, hey, Skullhead, what's going on? We've been live for about 24 minutes and 10 seconds. Yeah, Skullhead, your caps are all on. You're just like screaming at me here. Jeez. Whoa, black man, bam, lamb. Yeah, if now it's cool. I'm just messing. But let's see. Yeah, I'm just doing a live stream of my how to art because just hoping it can save me some time. I kind of put it off like yesterday because I was busy doing these auctions, just trying to get these as close to done as possible, and just yeah. And what comes from like well, part of making these videos I find is slightly annoying, or just well, more like time consuming, is just the after I record it, I have to upload it, and uploading, like depending on the video, can take sometimes up to like an hour. And I'm hoping just by doing streams and like doing it on the fly will just help make things go faster, because like with my previous videos, I just do them straight on through. There's like no editing or camera tricks or whatever, or speeding up or anything. So I figured like, I can just do that on a live stream. But what I didn't account for is the fact that I can't zoom in. So this is just kind of like an experimental test to like figure it out, to see if it works. If it's successful, great. Maybe I'll just start doing live streams of my how to art and sketchbook tours. So I guess depending on success, yeah. If it's not as successful, I'll just go back to just recording them and just uploading them as I usually do. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So this video is kind of going through how to draw the booty butt, and sort of what I'm somewhat doing, and like my process of how to do that. All right, next little sketch. Let's see. So as with the previous sketch, I'm starting out with somewhat of a blocky form, just to, again, like encapsulate the pelvic bone and the overlying muscles. So like with this blocked in right here, just going to divide it down the middle on both of these faces here, just to get the idea of where I'm going to, I guess, put the different planes of the butt cheeks. Yes, Skullhead. Butt anatomy is a very important lesson for any artist to learn how to draw. So here, just playing around with the figure again. Again, like this is the pelvic area. This right here, I'm drawing to represent the rib cage, and this line, the swooping line, is representing the spine. So on top here, I'm putting like the this line to give me an indication of where the trapezius muscles go, or the shoulder muscles. And these orbs I'm putting on the side just indicate the shoulders. So with that down, let's see, figure out where the legs are going. Just twisting this character up. So again, like keeping in mind the underlying bone structure, I'm just somewhat just sketching out the crest of the pelvic bones that are somewhat visible through the skin and the muscle structure. And from that pelvic area, just gauging where to put the little dimples there, both the butt cheeks, and then those kind of droop down into the crevasse. So when you get an angle like this, you want to keep in mind the pubic area. So just drawing like a little indication for that right here. And going through with the butt cheek on here, just swooping down and into the rest of the leg. So I'm going to be drawing this leg somewhat higher, like this. For the leg, I'm drawing right here. This is pretty much going to be where the supporting leg. So this is where most of her body weight is being supported, is on this leg. And I'm keeping in mind the, I guess, foreshortening. And to illustrate that, let me go ahead and just kind of draw this as somewhat of a cylindrical structure attaching itself to this pelvic structure that we have. And again, like remember where the hip bones are, they're on both sides of this pelvic box that we are drawing right here. And from that hip joints, you swoop it down and just incorporate the cheek here and swoop it down all the way to the leg. And this leg, keeping in mind, just drawing a little spear for the knee, and let that go down into the shin, I guess. You know what? Someday in the future, I'll give myself some time to learn the actual anatomical names, the proper anatomical names for all these body parts. I find myself just like coming up with these rudimentary terms for all these body parts. Well, you got your butt flap here, and your butt flap, that just kind of, that dissipates as you bring that butt flap on down to the legonomical region right here. And that legonomical region is attached to your knee joint. And that spherical knee joint will further extend down to the shinical, cylindrical thing right there. And you got somewhat of a sexy pose of a female figure, of the female form. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you draw an attractive booty butt cheek attached to a very sexy female woman. Yeah, that lesson's not gonna fly. I'm doing terrible. But yeah, this is just experimental. We'll see how this works. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't, I don't know. I'll just go back to doing it the way I've been doing it. Oh, and from earlier, like you got this indentation, like where the hip bone is, and there's like a somewhat of a cluster of muscles that go into that, and I wish I could get into more detail, but again, I don't know the muscle names and just the precise like muscle structure. I just have a vague memory of how it all goes together, and like what those muscle clusters look like on a topical form when drawing those structures. This video is bad and you should feel bad. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with her arms. I don't know. I have no idea. But you know what? This is just a sketch. Does it really matter? Oh, let's see. Skullhead says the term butt flap is accurate since we're not all doctors here. Well, let's see. I don't know how long I usually have these how to arts, but I think I've more or less covered it. But maybe we can do another video depending on what concept Salma thinks of this video. You know what? I may just do another video just for good measure, just to, I guess, maybe plan it out a little more. Because I think I somewhat phoned it in just because of the aspect of like just doing it as a live stream. I wasn't quite prepared for that, but I just wanted to see how it would go because of the whole easy aspect of it, just being able to record it and then just have it be uploaded instantly. Oh yeah, Concept Sama suggested this one, just how to draw booty butts. Like that's not his terminology. I can't remember what he said. Oh, thank you, Skullhead. He says this turned out well from what he's seen. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here because I think we've run over the time I usually allot to these videos. So yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions for any future how to art videos, leave that comment in the section below, or get a hold of me at some of my various websites. Let's see. If you want to support more videos like this, I do have a Patreon, and you can become a patron for either $1 a month, $5 a month, or $10 a month, and each one of those comes with certain access to like patron-only content. And I do have patron level 1, patron level 2, and patron level 3. And patron level 1 comes with a lot of the like full-scale, full-resolution downloads of a lot of the art that I do produce. Patron level 2 comes with that and the downloadable files for like Photoshop After Effects and Flash, so you can take those and just do what you want with those. Either look into it, study my process, or tweak them around if you want, and just post something like your own version. But if you do, like, I do appreciate if you link back to me, pay credit where credit is due and such. If you do, I'd really appreciate it. If you don't, it's no big deal. If Patreon isn't your thing, I also have a GoFundMe if you still want to throw money at me, some change here and there or whatever. I'm also a member of DeviantArt for Affinity the Ink Bunny, and I'll leave all those links in the description below, so follow me on all those if you want. And let's see, I think that's more or less about it. Yeah. Gotta get on to doing my next video. So thanks for watching, and hope you got something out of this video. Check you guys later.